Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And this is Horrorland News. Alright, so this year is the 40th anniversary of horror host Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and Shudder's celebrating by doing a one-night special movie marathon this Saturday, September 25th.
It's Elvira's 40th anniversary. Very scary, very special, especially for you.
And she's going to be showing the following 4 movies, including the classic Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Now, this movie came out in 1988, and I was 3 years old, so I can honestly say that I have loved this movie almost my whole life.
I remember when it came out.
He's old.
I wasn't allowed to see it, but I do remember. I was like, who's that?
I loved Elvira growing up, so I'm very excited. Probably going to watch this. Most likely going to watch this.
For sure going to watch this.
So yeah, the other movies include
House on Haunted Hill, the 1959 version, City of the Dead from 1960, and Messiah of Evil from 1973.
So I've definitely seen House on Haunted Hill in probably all the versions.
A few times.
I have not seen City of the Dead or Messiah of Evil, so pretty excited to watch those with Elvira.
I'm actually really excited and in an odd way honored that they chose House on Haunted Hill, because you remember we did a horror host show. Our friend hosted one in Wisconsin area, and that was a film that we got to guest star on.
It was
House on Haunted Hill. So very cool, very cool. I'm excited for
somewhere
this.
out there, Deadger's Dark Coffin Classics was the show, and our friend, she went by Celeste. She has a new show, Hex Arcane, where it's 2 ladies talking about horror, so check them out. So yeah, very excited. This Saturday on Shudder, Elvira, 4 awesome movies, plus an awesome horror host, so tune in. Alright, so our next story of the episode, The Hollywood Reporter has a story that Warner Brothers is developing a remake or a reboot of The Lost Boys. We're not sure which. It's going to be directed by Jonathan Entwistle and written by Randy McKinnon. And then Noah Jupe, who you may know from A Quiet Place, and then Jaden Martell, obviously from It. They're set to star in this remake, reboot, whatever it is. And all we really know is that it's set in modern day. And it's a pretty popular movie. Most horror buffs have seen the original. So if you want to talk a little bit about what you think, we should expect from a remake.
I have no idea. I've never seen the original. I've never seen the last one.
Fail!
I have never.
That's a horror fail.
I couldn't even tell you precisely what it's about. I know it's got vampires in it.
Well, that's a start. It also has the wonderful Edward Herrmann in it, which
I didn't know that.
You know from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, Edward Herrmann Younger is in this, and then stars the Coreys.
The Coreys
are in it. Feldman and Haim.
I know Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes,
is in it.
he plays the bad vampire guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie about 2 boys who basically find out that there's vampires living in their neighborhood, and it's a fun romp. Like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away, because we're definitely going to be watching this movie later.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like Fright Night, where the
vampires are real. Very fun. It's a very fun movie. I'd say it's very 80s movie. Very 80s movie.
Well, maybe it's due for a remake then. Don't kill me, but maybe.
It's also such a classic, especially in the vampire genre, because I don't want to say it made vampires fun, because like Kiefer Sutherland's vampire is not fun, but it made them, more interesting.
Okay.
I feel personally, it's not just, I want to suck your, it's not Dracula, it's not, it was something more modern when it came out, and it embraced the, styles of the 80s, the everything of the 80s.
Yeah, obviously I've heard of it. I've known of this movie for years. I just never got around to watching it. So I guess we're going to fix that.
It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. All right, so for our third story, from one reboot to another, or a couple of others.
It does feel like that's a lot of the news in horror these days. But
Yep. Well, this is actually two different remakes of the same property. So Hulu is now filming a reimagining of Hellraiser. It's going to be directed by David Bruckner, written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. Sorry if I say that wrong. And Bruckner is claiming that it's a reimagining that's going to be a lot closer to the Clive Barker story that the first one is based on. The book, if you haven't read it, The Hellbound Heart, written by Clive Barker, and then Clive Barker directed the first movie, and then it kind of went off the rails from there. I'm going to go ahead and let you know, Hellraiser's not one of my favorite franchises at all. I've seen the first one, and I think I've seen, like, the third one, and that's it. I'm aware of, Cenobites and Pinhead and all that. I know Pinhead, I don't think, is in the original book at all.
He is, from my understanding, because I never read the original book, so full transparency. However, as a fan of the first movie, which I am, I did do a little research on it, and he's not named Pinhead. That was something the fans gave him as a film.
Gotcha.
I don't think he's even called Pinhead in the first movie either, if I remember right. I don't think that comes in until maybe part 3, maybe part 2. But anyways, I know that he was in it, and he's just called the priest or the priestess or something. But apparently he's described in it.
And I would give him another chance. But funny you bring up Halloween 2018, because David Gordon Green, who directed Halloween and Halloween Kills, is directing another Hellraiser reboot franchise thing. This one is going to be for HBO Max, and it's going to be a series. And Clive Barker is actually executive producing this series.
So I take it they're not going to be in the same universe then.
I didn't see a lot of information on it. I assume with Clive Barker behind it, it's going to be closer to his properties. Yeah. Or at least it's going to have his hand in it more, I feel like, maybe.
I do hope that either project should grab Doug Bradley and have him as a cameo in it. I'm sure he's too old to play Pinhead now. But we love you, Doug, and the one they got to replace you was terrible. So hopefully maybe Clive Barker will have him play somebody in it. That'd be cool.
And then I just also want to mention, since we mentioned the writers of the Hellraiser movie, the writers for the Hellraiser series are going to be Michael Dougherty, who did Trick or Treat and Krampus.
Really?
And Mark Verheiden, who did Battlestar Galactica.
Well,
I guess some episodes for that.
I'm sold now.
That's interesting, because with horror and then coming from a writer from Battlestar Galactica, which is sci-fi, I feel like that's going to be successful, because Hellraiser is horror and sci-fi meshed together,
Right, they had one that took place in space, because Hellraiser can be in any
most
time.
series took place in space at some point.
But in Hellraiser, because it can be any time in space that they can show up in. So maybe, what if the Clive Barker series is an anthology series with Michael Dougherty?
I'm not sure. I didn't read
that's
further
total
into
speculation.
it, so I'm just bringing you the news.
That is total speculation.
I didn't do deep research.
I got excited for a second. That's total speculation. But that's a cool idea.
But yeah, and that's probably, again, something when we get more information, when more trailers are released and stuff like that, we'll bring up again and tell you whatever new information that we've learned about it. So
absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. In case you guys can't tell, I love Trick or Treat. And Krampus was cool too.
Yep, I love Trick or Treat. Sam is just the cutest. He's so cute. He's so cute. And when he takes his mask off, even cuter in my opinion. I know he thinks I'm weird. Total cutie when he takes the little burlap sack off. I think he's so cute.
He's quickly become one of my favorite horror icons.
So that brings us to our final segment, the Indie Film Spotlight segment.
Awesome.
And this week we actually have a pair of films. They're from the same production company. Let's see here. Jash Pictures, Inc. And they're both written, directed, shot, and edited by Henry McCrea. So again, if I say your name wrong, I'm very sorry. If you see this, please correct me, please. And the first one is from 2018, and it's called Peephole. It's less than 4 minutes long, and I loved it.
I did too. She showed it to me. I didn't know what I was watching, what I was signing up for. It grabs you immediately. It's really well shot.
Yep, from the jaunty little tune that's playing on the TV from the second it comes on until the second it goes off, you're just enthralled with this little short.
It's fantastic.
It's so great.
Very inventive.
Very inventive. It stars, it's only got one actor in it, Tim Luke Light. I'm sorry again if I can't say your name. Please correct me if you see this. But he was, I think, fantastic, funny, creepy, everything that he needed to be for that role.
Well, yeah, because he had the job of keeping you enthralled in the project, you know, because I think anything's even said.
No, I'm not sure that there's.
I don't think there is.
Not one word said in it, and same for the other one. The other one, I found it on their channel after I saw Peephole. I, of course, checked out their channel to see what else they had.
You got to.
And the only other movie recently that I saw was from 2020, and it's called Debt. And again, it's one actress, one person. I don't think a single word is said the entire time, but very inventive and very
very
keeps
clever.
you. It keeps you watching, and it's maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, and somehow the characters in both films I found myself relating to. Like, it's like, okay, been there, yep, okay, been there. Yep. And it's like, I don't know, but like they don't have a complicated plot. It's but the atmosphere.
That's what's great about it.
It's the atmosphere, it's the cinematography, the sound design, it is the acting, and the editing.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
All of it's great. Fantastic. Yeah. And just to let you know, Debt starred a woman named Bonnie DiCipolo. So, again, Bonnie, sorry if I just destroyed your name. I'm very bad with names.
She'll forgive us.
But again, I think Henry McCrea, I think fantastic job. Make more movies. I love them. I absolutely adored both of these movies.
This guy's going somewhere, for sure.
If he hasn't already, I'm going to have to look into him even more and see what else he's done. Because honestly, I love these two. So it's going to make me seek out and see if he's got any more work. I just didn't have time before this episode.
Yeah, like I remember seeing the short Lights Out, and we loved it.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
And that got picked
the movie was not good.
Not as good. It was hard to stretch it out into a whole thing. However, it wasn't the worst that we've seen.
Well, I think because we saw it for free, it didn't bother me as much. But yeah, I didn't care for the Lights Out movie. Yeah. I loved the Lights Out short.
Yeah.
And I think that's a case of where sometimes an idea doesn't need room to breathe.
Correct.
That an idea is just that moment, that one, scare.
It's creepy for its 5 minutes, 10 minutes that it needs, and that's it.
Done.
You know, you start broadening it out, thinking about it too much, making it more involved, and it's just, you end up just drawing, and that's what Lights Out did. It drew it out too much.
Plus, it kind of forces you to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Where what's great about both of these films, Peephole and Debt, nothing's really explained.
No.
And it doesn't bother you at all because you love what you just saw.
As a short, you don't need to do all that.
It's scarier that way.
It's like when we reviewed The Empty Man. We said that. As a short, it would have made more sense than the 2.5 hours.
Trying to explain and explaining nothing. God, I can't.
Yeah, if you want to see her get truly exasperated, watch our last video. I'll put a link below.
Seriously, that movie... More walking than Lord of the Rings in that movie. I swear to God. I cannot with that movie.
Not nearly as good or entertaining as Lord of the Rings, though.
I beg to differ. Like, both... I'm not a Lord of the Rings person.
Good thing it's not a horror. Alright, guys. On that note, I think we'll send you on your way. Thank you guys for watching. We love horror.
Good night, good fight.
Bye-bye.
About the Lost Boys. So I can talk about the new one if you want to talk about the old one.
I've never seen the old one.
Well, that's something to talk about.